Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving deep, really deep, into one of the most famous images in the entire spiritual tradition, Jacob's ladder. Now, what if I told you this wasn't just some nice dream about a stairway to heaven? What if it was actually the unveiling of a cosmic operating system, a kind of divine switchboard that connects what we do down here directly to the rise and fall of entire nations? Well, let's start climbing and see what this dream is really all about. I want you to just try and picture this for a second. Jacob, he's a fugitive, right? He's all alone out in the middle of nowhere, and he falls into this uneasy sleep. And then the screen of his mind just lights up. And this isn't some blurry, half-remembered dream. This is 4K ultra-high def. A ladder made of pure light just materializes. Its base is planted right there in the dirt next to him. But the top just disappears into the fabric of the cosmos itself. And on this ladder, there's traffic. And we're not talking about little cherubs with harps. We're talking about powerful, radiant beings ascending and descending with a real sense of purpose, almost like cosmic officials on a critical mission. You can feel this hum in the air, the tension of a system in perfect, dynamic motion. Jacob isn't just dreaming. He's looking at the control panel for all of human history. So, to really get what Jacob saw, we're going on our own journey. We've got 5 stops on our roadmap, and we're going to follow that ancient path of understanding called Pardes. We'll start at the surface level, the pshat, with a ladder to heaven. Then we'll dig for the hint, the remes, in the angelic administrators. After that, we uncover the deep secret, the sod, in the rules of ascent. Then we'll see it all play out in the great game of nations, and finally, we'll grasp the whole design in the cosmic blueprint. Okay, so let's start at square one, the simple meaning, the pshat. On the surface, this story is really about reassurance. You have Jacob, he's running for his life, he's totally alone and vulnerable. And in that exact moment, God gives him this incredible vision and a promise. A promise of family, of a homeland, of divine protection. The ladder, in this sense, is this beautiful symbol that, hey, even when you're in the darkest, loneliest place on earth, there is still a direct, open line to heaven. But the ancient mystical sages, especially in the Zohar, they looked at this story and said, hold on a minute, there's something way, way bigger happening here. They taught that this wasn't just a personal pep talk for one guy. Jacob was being shown a blueprint, a schematic of how the entire universe works, how the spiritual and physical worlds are hardwired together. He was literally seeing the mechanism that governs the destiny of all humanity. So you see, it's not just Jacob's ladder, it's our ladder. So let's peel back that first layer, shall we? Let's get to the hinted meaning, the remes. Now, the key that unlocks this entire mystery is figuring out who, or maybe what, is actually climbing up and down this ladder. The text says angels of God, but the mystical tradition tells us to look much, much closer. These are not your average messengers. The word the mystical commentaries use for these beings is serum, or serem in the plural. And this word, it doesn't just mean angel. It translates to prince, minister, ruler, governor. And just like that, the whole picture shifts, doesn't it? These aren't cosmic mail carriers delivering messages. These are high-level administrators, and each one has a specific portfolio, a specific domain that they are in charge of. So how many of these cosmic governors are there? Well, the mystical texts are incredibly specific about this. There are 70 of them. And why 70? Because according to tradition, all of humanity originally branched out into 70 root nations. So the Zohar teaches that every single one of those nations has a spiritual counterpart, a sar, its own governor in the higher worlds, advocating for its interests and its destiny on the cosmic stage. And this is really the best way to see that shift in thinking. On the one hand, you have the popular idea of an angel, a messenger, maybe a guardian, this kind of ethereal being. But on the other hand, you have the Zoharic view. A sar is an active cosmic administrator, a national governor. A better way to think about it is like a node in a giant network. Each sar is the conduit for its nation's spiritual energy, its life force. They aren't just watching history from the cheap seats, they are literally channeling the energies that shape it. And this brings us to the deepest layer, the sod, the secret level. Okay, so if these Sarim are the governors of nations, and we see them going up and down, what's controlling their movement? Is it just chaos, some kind of cosmic free-for-all? Well, the answer is a definitive no. Their rise and fall isn't random in the slightest. It is governed by a precise, unbreakable law. It's the core mechanic of the entire cosmic system. This right here, this quote, is basically the whole rule book. It lays it all out. The power of the Sarim of the nations is always inversely proportional to the spiritual state of Israel. So when Israel's spiritual connection is strong and it ascends, the other Sarim go down. And when that connection weakens and falls, the other Sarim are empowered and they go up. And here's the kicker, the most important part. The control switch for this entire system, it isn't in some far-off heaven. It's right here. It all depends, as the text says, on the children of Jacob, on us. So how does that actually work? Well, the mystics teach that our actions generate one of two types of spiritual energy. On one side, you have the current of mercy, rachamim. This is generated by positive actions, kindness, study, prayer, you name it. This current is visualized as this brilliant white or golden light, and it flows up the ladder, empowering Israel's Sar. On the other side, you have the current of judgment, Din. This gets generated by neglect, by apathy, by negative actions, and this current, visualized as a harsh red or dark light, flows up and empowers the Sarim of the other nations, giving them power. This is the whole principle of arousal from below. What we do down here literally flips the switches up there. And this table just lays out the entire feedback loop perfectly. Just follow the chain. An action happens down here. That action generates a specific current, mercy or judgment. That current then directly impacts the balance of power on the ladder, causing one Sar to rise and others to fall. And that spiritual shift translates directly into a real-world outcome. Either Israel flourishes or other powers start to dominate the world stage. It's a perfect one-to-one system of cosmic cause and effect. Okay, that's the theory. Let's make this really concrete. Remember, Jacob wasn't just seeing abstract physics, he was getting a sneak peek of world history, what you could call the great game of nations. To make this system really click, let's look at it through a couple of modern analogies. So first, let's think of it like a giant cosmic strategy video game. Step 1, the main player, the hero, that's Israel, makes a choice, a good deed versus a bad deed. Step 2, that choice instantly triggers a spiritual power up, that flow of mercy, or a power down, that flow of judgment. Step 3, if it's a power up, the hero's kingdom levels up, it gets stronger, its influence expands. But step 4, if it's a power down, a rival kingdom somewhere else on the map suddenly gets a massive boost. They gain power, resources, and influence. The whole world map is constantly shifting in real time, based on the hero's choices. All right, now for all you systems engineers out there, here's a more technical take. Think of reality as a vast distributed network. Step 1. Israel is the central hub, and its collective spiritual life is like a constant system integrity check. It's always broadcasting a status, system healthy or system integrity compromised. Step 2. Based on that signal, the permissions and access rights for all the other nodes, the 70 Sarim, get dynamically reallocated. It's all automatic. Step 3. The network then reroutes the primary bandwidth, the divine flow of energy. If the hub is strong, it gets the bandwidth. If it's weak, that energy gets diverted to the other nodes. So, step 4, the operational status of the whole world, who's in charge, who's got the influence, it's just a reflection of this new power distribution. And this is exactly what Jacob saw play out in his dream. He saw the Sar of Babylon climbing the ladder, and he understood this is the future Babylonian exile. Then he watches as that Sar falls, and in its place, the Sar of Persia starts to climb. Then Persia falls, and the Sar of Greece rises. He's watching the great empires of history rise and fall based on this very system. But then, he sees one last Sar begin to climb. And this one is different. It's powerful, it's terrifying, and it just keeps climbing and climbing with no end in sight. This, the mystics tell us, was the Sar of Edom, the spiritual root of Rome, representing the final and current long exile. Jacob saw the spiritual prince of his own brother, Esau, ascending, and he was just filled with dread, because he understood the immense challenge that this dominion would represent for his descendants. Okay, so we've seen the what, and we've seen the how. But to really get it, we need to understand the why. We have to zoom out one last time and look at the deep architecture of reality itself, the cosmic blueprint that makes all of this possible in the first place. The engine that powers this entire system is a divine structure known as the 10 Sephirot. Now, these aren't things you can touch. They are 10 fundamental divine attributes, like 10 interactive channels through which God's creative energy flows into our world. And built right into this cosmic DNA is the very polarity we've been talking about. On one side, you have Kesed, which is this expansive energy of mercy and loving kindness. And on the other, you have Gevurah, the contracting energy of judgment and strength. These two Sephirot are the primordial source of those two currents, the Rachamim and Din, that are driving all the action on the ladder. So how does our physical world plug into this divine engine? Well, Kabbalah teaches that reality is a cascade of four main worlds. At the very top, you have Atzilut, the world of pure emanation. Below that, Bria, the world of creation. Then comes Yetzirah, the world of formation, where angels live. And way down at the bottom is our world, Asya, the world of action. Jacob's ladder is the spiritual Ethernet cable connecting all four. And this is so crucial because it means that an action we perform here in our physical world is never just a local event. It creates a spiritual signal, what the mystics call an arousal from below. That signal travels up the ladder through all the worlds, and it triggers a response from above. This is the metaphysical law of the universe that gives our physical actions such incredible cosmic weight. A simple act of kindness isn't just a nice thing to do, it's a signal sent up the entire chain of command that can literally realign the flow of energy through the cosmos. This chart really helps visualize the whole engine at work. Imagine it's a cosmic scale. On the left, you've got the golden energy of Hesed, or mercy, fueling Israel's connection. On the right, you have the red energy of Gevurah, or judgment, which empowers the nations. And the entire system pivots on that central point of Tiferet, which means harmony or balance. But here's the thing. That balance point isn't fixed. The whole system is designed to shift and recalibrate, constantly responding to one input, our actions, down here. Which really just leaves us with one final, very provocative thought to sit with. If the universe is really wired this way, if our world and the higher worlds are truly interconnected by this ladder, if the fate of nations really hangs in a balance that we ourselves control, then what is the true impact, the real cosmic weight of a single choice, a single word, or even just a single action? Thank you so much for joining us on this complete journey through the Pardes, from the simple story all the way down to the secret blueprint of reality itself. We really hope this ancient blueprint isn't just a fascinating theory, but that it serves as a powerful reminder of the profound influence you hold, that with every single choice, you're sending a signal up that ladder and literally shaping the world around you. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please do like, subscribe, and share with us in the comments which part of this journey really touched your soul. Was it the story, the angelic administrators, the rules of the game? We'd love to hear it. We'll see you in the next chapter.